Hello, and welcome back to the Wrestling Bullet Boy. I still remember the first time I stumbled upon Lucha Underground. It wasn't like anything I'd seen before in professional wrestling. The lights, the cinematography, the sheer drama. It felt like a mix of an action movie, a gritty soap opera, and the high-flying spectacle of Lucha Libre. Watching it was like being transported to a completely different world, one where wrestling wasn't just a sport or entertainment. It was mythology, mystery, and magic all rolled into one. And honestly, I miss it every day. Lucha Underground wasn't just a wrestling show. It was an experience. Took everything I loved about wrestling and flipped it on its head. The show had a cinematic style that made every episode feel like an event. Matches didn't just happen. They were part of a larger story, often told through beautifully shot backstage vignettes that felt more like scenes from a Quentin Tarantino film than your standard wrestling promo. It wasn't just about titles and feuds. It was about life and death, betrayal, and even supernatural powers. I mean, where else could you find a champion who was literally a dragon or an undead skeleton warrior fighting for dominance? What I loved most about Lucha Underground was its commitment to storytelling. Every single character mattered, from the top stars to the wrestlers you'd normally think of as filler. Take someone like Son of Havoc. On any other show, he might have been stuck in the lower mid-card, but in Lucha Underground, he became part of one of the most compelling underdog stories ever told. Or look at Pentagon Jr., whose transformation from a sadistic henchman to a terrifying antihero with his Zero Miedo, Zero Fear mantra was pure brilliance. You couldn't help but be drawn into their stories because the show made you care. And let's not forget the temple, the beating heart of Lucha Underground. The atmosphere of that small, gritty arena was unmatched. It wasn't some flashy WWE-style production or a massive AEW crowd. It was intimate and raw, like you were part of this underground fight club where anything could happen. The temple felt alive, with fans pounding on the barricades and chanting in unison, making it feel like a sacred battleground where legends were made. But what really set Lucha Underground apart for me was how it treated wrestling like art. Matches weren't just about pinfalls and submissions. They were stories told through movement, emotion, and spectacle. The creativity in the ring was unmatched. You had the high-flying insanity of Phoenix, the brutal technical mastery of Pentagon, the lucha libre mastery of Drago, and the sheer unpredictability of people like Mil Muertes and Matanza Cueto. The Aztec warfare matches, where chaos reigned supreme, or the insane cinematic Grave Consequences casket matches, were unlike anything else on TV. It wasn't afraid to push boundaries, and that's why it felt so fresh and exciting. The impact Lucha Underground had on wrestling can't be overstated. It gave us stars who are now some of the biggest names in the industry. Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix are tearing it up in AEW as two of the best wrestlers in the world. Ricochet, who dazzled us as Prince Puma, is now showcasing his jaw-dropping athleticism in AEW. Even people like Taya Valkyrie, Johnny Mundo aka John Morrison, and Jeff Cobb, who was known as Matanza Cueto, owe a lot of their current success to the exposure they gained in Lucha Underground. And let's not forget how it brought Lucha Libre into the mainstream in a way that felt modern and accessible without losing its authenticity. But for all its brilliance, Lucha Underground was too ambitious for its own good. The cinematic approach, the larger-than-life characters, and the supernatural elements made it unique, but they also made it expensive and hard to sustain. As much as I loved the storytelling, the contracts were a nightmare for the talent, locking them into deals that limited their opportunities elsewhere. When the show ended after 4 seasons, it left a void that hasn't been filled since. I think what I miss most about Lucha Underground is the freedom it had. It didn't care about tradition or following the rules. It was bold, experimental, and unapologetically weird. Wrestling today, while great in many ways, sometimes feels too polished or too focused on fitting into neat little boxes. Lucha Underground didn't care about any of that. It just wanted to tell wild, crazy stories and put on matches that made your jaw drop. Will we ever get something like Lucha Underground again? Honestly, I doubt it. But never say never. Wrestling promotions now are either chasing mainstream appeal or trying to stick to traditional formulas. But that's why I hold on to my memories of Lucha Underground so tightly. It was a lightning-in-a-bottle moment, a show that redefined what wrestling could be. And though it's gone, Its influence lives on in the wrestlers and fans it inspired. For me, there will always be a part of wrestling that feels incomplete without the temple, without Dario Cueto's sinister grin, without the haunting theme music of Mil Muertes or the electrifying moves of Prince Puma. Lucha Underground wasn't just a show. It was a revolution. And damn, do I miss it. If Lucha Underground had survived, it could have redefined the wrestling landscape in ways we can only imagine. With its innovative storytelling, cinematic presentation, and unique roster, it might have carved out a permanent niche as the wrestling world's most creative promotion, rivaling even WWE and AEW in cultural influence. The temple could have expanded its mythos, introducing new Aztec tribes, supernatural rivalries, and fresh stars who blurred the line between reality and fantasy. Imagine collaborations with promotions like AEW or NJPW, blending lucha libre with global styles, or the possibility of a streaming boom elevating it to cult status worldwide. It could have become the ultimate hybrid of wrestling and entertainment, continuing to push boundaries and setting the standard for what wrestling could truly achieve as an art form. Instead of being a fond memory, it could have been a thriving, revolutionary force, constantly evolving and inspiring generations of wrestlers and fans alike. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you miss Lucha Underground? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care and peace out.